Hey guys, welcome to r/MaliciousCompliance, where OP throws an office party that costs the company over $6,000. But first, get rid of my vacation, have fun replacing me. I worked at a company that gave out an exorbitant amount of vacation time. Anyone who worked there for 25 plus years received 8 weeks of vacation and 2 weeks of personal time. This was a family-owned company, but rather large. We ran 3 shifts totaling 250 plus people. Enter Jimmy. Jimmy was a grizzled old man. He started the company when he was just 20. He was now 63 and had absolutely zero care. Jimmy also knew how to make a specific part for our product. Him and one other higher up in the office. One day the plant owner comes out and announces that he's selling to a corporation. He's older and ready to retire. He promises that there will be very little change and wishes us all well. The new company comes in and immediately goes after many great benefits we had. The first thing they do is cut everyone's max vacation down to 4 weeks and do completely away with personal time. Anyone who's maxed out had until December 31st of that year to use it up, and they wouldn't pay it out. Then they went into the office and cleaned the house, firing anyone who's close to retirement, including Jimmy's backup. But they also do away with one very important rule. You no longer have to get vacation approved and you can just call in and take it. Jimmy is pissed, and they know it. They realize he's the only one in the building that can do his job now, so they hire a new kid for him to train, most likely to permanently replace Jimmy. So Jimmy does what anyone would do. He calls in the first training day for the new hire and lets us know he's going to use all of his paid time off at once and promptly takes 10 weeks off. We had a backstock of parts he had made, so it wasn't too unnerving, but for 10 weeks Jimmy went and applied for other jobs, found one and started over there. Fast forward 10 weeks, it's the day Jimmy is supposed to return. He doesn't. For 2 days they try calling him, and even go to his house. He's nowhere to be found. Finally on day 3, he calls and resigns. They lose their minds. The parts he makes are specialized and patented by the original founder, and you can't just hire someone off the street to make them. What eventually happened was they had to contact the original owner to come in and teach some new hires how to make them. And when he found out what they had all done, it pissed him off. The last I heard, he charged them a 7-figure contract to teach them how to produce the parts, and they had to pony up or close down. Moral of the story, don't F with people's vacation time. It genuinely confuses me how a large company pays a massive amount of money to buy a smaller company, then changes everything so that the company is far less profitable, and then fire the only people that make that company run properly. What do you expect to happen? Oh yeah, we've bought this company and fired everyone. The company's gonna run perfectly fine. Obviously not! Some big businesses are so stupid. The next story is, you demand my entire team be at the office for 4th of July? Fine, enjoy paying for the office party. So this starts on Monday the 13th, as I receive an email from a VP who's not over my department or a bad VP. I am told that my team will be required on the 4th, and I politely tell them that no, our team has been scheduled off on this day, and the people already have plans. My team is the IT team, and as many of you know, the IT team gets shafted every time it can get shafted by a company. So over the course of the week, I let my team know what is happening. I let them know I've been reaching out to higher ups to fix it. I also tell them that if their plans are ruined, I will make it right at work. Over the course of 3 meetings, it starts to look like things will not go my way. In response, I send an email to the CEO of the company. All of my higher-ups knew I was going to do this and said I should do this as he is very family-oriented and he wouldn't allow anyone to work on a national holiday. Well, he is on vacation in the Bahamas until the 6th. His assistant informed me that he would look at this after he gets back. Cue my repeated head slams into the desk. So I tell everyone that it will be work from home and that we will be setting my cell phone as priority in call routing, meaning I would get most of the calls. To be honest, I was expecting almost 0 calls, especially since I was asked to send out a notification that IT support would cover the 4th of July. I never sent that email out. A day later, I was given another outrage. I was told in an email that my employees would be required to be at the office and no one was allowed to work from home. They would be checking the door badge-ins to verify that we were at the office. I asked why in an email, and they said that they wanted to make sure that no one was playing video games at work. We normally work from home about 2/3 of the week, and video game playing is a normal occurrence at work. So I walked into this person's office. After a very long conversation, where she was losing the logic war with me, she told me that it's just the IT guys, you guys don't have lives. No, I am not kidding you, that is exactly what she told me. I reported this to my VP who said, I will take care of this, it likely won't be until after the 4th, so get creative. I know this man well. We've worked together for a long time and get creative is code for corporate effery. I asked the person requiring us to be at the office if they cared if we had an office party. They said no, as long as we did not interfere with the call flow. Even suggested using my new company card to pay for it. Go wild. Pro tip, never tell me to go wild. At this point, it was Tuesday the 21st. I let everyone know what's up, but that I have something planned. I asked who had things planned for that day. 2 people told me they were planning to shoot off fireworks with their family, but the rest were planning barbecues with friends. I write up an email to the VP over my department and the bad VP. I tell them all that I let everyone know we were all expected to work until 8 PM Monday. Per the conversation I had with the bad VP, I will be having an office party as a sort of sorry to the guys and gals who got shafted by this decision. The bad VP replied again, "Thank you for your understanding. Also, yes, I would expect an office party if I had to work on the 4th of July as well. So go wild and enjoy your time. Use your new company credit card if you need to cover a few expenses. Also, I should not have to remind you or anyone else, no fireworks or alcohol on company property." So now it is time to tell you about my office. See, a while back, the IT team was moved from the main corporate office into a smaller building by itself. It has a nice gaming break room, a decent-sized gym, and a full-on drink bar. Soft drinks, mind you, no alcohol at work. But out back is a big patio that crosses the county lines as soon as you cross a small creek. A creek that just happens to have a big footbridge over it leading into an empty field. I start making phone calls. Monday, June 25th. I call up everyone into an hour-long meeting that morning. I explain to them all that I will be making this right. I asked everyone to invite their friends and family to the office. No supplies will need to be brought by anyone. I tell them all that this will be non-alcoholic, but that I will be planning something for everyone. I told them all to expect food to be provided and they don't need to bring anything, unless they wanted to bring some fireworks, i.e. they won't have to spend a dime. The 4th comes and the entire day we did absolutely no work. No tickets, no calls came in, or 7 calls did come in, but from the same person. It was the bad VP. She was calling to make sure we were all managing the phones. All of us were playing video games or watching movies. 6 PM rolls around and everyone was told that the food was ready. People were expecting hot dogs, hamburgers, maybe a bratwurst or 2. What they got was a full-on barbecue feast with pizza and other foods. There was smoked brisket, spare ribs, smoked sausage, smoked turkey, both kinds of tater salad, coleslaw, green beans, bacon and onion, potatoes au gratin, pizza from 2 different places, excellent hamburgers, and bratwurst hot dogs. On the dessert side was a cake, very good cookies, 4 different kinds of pies, and about 2 pounds of fudge. Families and friends started showing up at around 6:15ish, and someone brought alcohol, but I told them they would need to leave it in their cars as I was not going that crazy. Some were not too happy about that, but agreed as it was a free dinner for random strangers. So let me set the scene for you. I'm out there with all calls routed to my phone, and everyone is having a good time. We have a ton of people there just enjoying the fun night, chatting about random stuff, eating the food and occasionally lighting off some sparklers or throwing firecrackers into the stream. My VP, not the bad VP mind you, showed up with his family and brought some water balloons for the kids and man-children. Around 8:30ish, it's getting dark and people want to shoot off more than the simple sparklers and firecrackers that we had been using. The VP over the IT department had everyone cross the footbridge over the county line and off company property, and we set up a big wooden board using it as our launch pad. We fired off whatever we had for an hour or 2 and just sort of hung out for a little while. At around this time, people were tired and ready to head home. I told people to take home leftovers within reason, and we all clocked out at 8. No one left until around 10:30. The bad VP did call once more while we were back at the party. It was 7:50 and she called asking for a status update. My exact words were, "Well, you were the only one to call us today. The rest of us are on the back patio enjoying the 4th of July shindig." She simply acted like my boss and said, "As long as no alcohol or fireworks are on company property, I do not care." We ate roughly half of the food catered and the rest was taken home. A small group volunteered to stay behind to help clean up, including my VP. We had a funny conversation about how this will make waves with the bosses, but he said he had my back and asked me how much this cost. I just gave him a sideways look which made him laugh. Tuesday morning, I submitted my expense report to my VP. This email would inevitably make its way over to the bad VP and up the chain to the CIO of the company. It would be a very bad idea to give out the exact cost of the party, mind you, but I can tell you that because of this 4th of July party, new rules were put into place. Any expense over $4,000 or more must be approved by a direct supervisor, VP, over the department, and the full expense report must be sent to the financial department for review after the fact. The party cost over $6K. The barbecue was the most expensive part. I did not order from low or mid-tier places. The place I ordered from has consistently been on the top 10 list for the past 30 years. I ate at that place so much I made friends with the owner. The best barbecue I have ever had. The pies and cakes were custom made by a bakery and the cookies were made by a boutique cookie place. I had 10 12-packs of Coke, Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero, Pepsi, Pepsi Zero. I bought 5 pepperoni pizzas, 5 sausage, 5 cheese, 2 Hawaiian and 3 cheeseburger pizzas from one place, and nearly the same number from another place, excluding the cheeseburger ones. I snubbed out those for a different specialty pizza from this place. The burgers were from an excellent burger place that did catering. I know the owner well. He brought his kids for the night of fun after he heard what was going to be happening. He was also the one who brought the brat dogs as he recently added those to his menu. This was the most expensive office party in the history of the company. The only things more expensive than this were some business meetings that the CEO rented private rooms in high-end restaurants for. As for the CEO, he was outraged. Not all the cost of the party, mind you. He knew that the party would not have been necessary if people had been allowed to go home. He was outraged that IT was the only group required to work on that day. When I submitted the logs, seeing how we had received no real phone calls, no service requests, and that we basically watched movies and played video games during our shift, he had heard enough. He apparently sent out a scathing email about work-life balance and the importance of our holidays to every single member of upper management. It was kind of funny as people wanted to get me in trouble for what I did, but the reality is other departments have done similar things in the past, just not at the same scale that I did. The bad VP was admonished quite effectively and sent me an apology email. I forwarded it to the team with a strong hint to not reply. Then my VP let the CIO and the CEO know about everything that the bad VP said. You guys don't have lives. The bad VP did actually confirm she said it in a meeting with her EVP. It did not go over well. I have never heard people yelling in an office meeting like that before. The CEO of the company came to our offices and yelled at her personally. I'm not sure if she was fired, but she's not at work today. In Active Directory, she does not have the down arrow of death, so I'm not 100% what happened to her. But I do know she lost whatever clout she had at the company with her attitude. But so far, it looks like the fallout from this is I caused a new rule to be put in place about how much you're allowed to spend at one time. The bad VP may or may not be let go / forced to resign, and I know she got yelled at. Strangely, there was no longer any pushback for my bid to get everyone back to working from home. When will people learn? Do not mess with the IT guys. It's so simple. You'd think these people had never heard a Reddit story in their lives. The final story is called Take Off My Earphones While You're Speaking to Me. Sure, no problem, officer. And I'm almost certain I know exactly where this story is going, so I think it's going to be great. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe as it will really help my channel out as I'm trying to get back to posting more regularly. This happened this morning. Even though I made a complete full stop at a 4-way stop, I got pulled over by a police vehicle. Lights flashing the works. I turned my dashcam around to face me and whomever goes in front of the car on the driver's side window. I roll down the window and ask, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" The officer looks at me the way one would look at a sticky piece of gum stuck to the bottom of one's shoe. "You didn't make a complete stop," he said. I adjust one of my hearing aids. I lost part of my hearing due to being a touring session musician previously, and before I could speak, he firmly orders, "Sir, take off your earphones while I'm talking to you." Yes, I knew where this was going. Some cops are so stupid and I love it. I take both hearing aids off and look at him. I can read lips a little, but we're both masked, so I don't understand what he's saying. I communicate in sign language simultaneously while speaking verbally. "I'm deaf, and I didn't understand what you just said. Can you communicate to me in ASL, please?" American Sign Language. He points at my hearing aids that look like Apple AirPods, motion for me to put them on, and I respond, "Yes, officer, without those I could only communicate in ASL. Please instruct me in ASL and I will be compliant in every possible way." He looks at the dashcam that's neatly pointed squarely at us and mumbles, "For F's sake," and then motions for me to go, giving me 2 thumbs up. Needless to say, I rolled up the window and drove away fast as I legally was allowed to. Couldn't wipe the smile off my face all day. Oh, I am so happy that I knew where this story was going. Some cops are just so bloody stupid. But honestly, you're actually very lucky that you got a cop that doesn't know sign language. as I'm sure people have tried this before to get out of tickets where they pretend to be deaf. So sooner or later the cops are going to catch on, as well as they have close communication with interpreters for almost all languages. But this cop definitely deserved it. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all for today. Catch you later.